All right, kind of got a slow start for today. We're heading out of town this week, so we're kind of trying to get stuff cleaned up around camp and get moved out of here. But now that I've got through with most of that, I'm out here at the spring attempting to move this further along, and I'm gonna try before I get out of here today to have a tote in place with water being collected in the tote. So I've already got my spring box hooked up, and I'll give you a look at that. So the spring's up there, coming down here, that PVC pipe, and then we switch over to the flexible pipe here and come on down to our spring box, or bucket as it were in this case. And I think I've heard a little bit of water dripping in already. Yeah, you can see a little bit starting right there. It's probably going to take, well, I know it's going to take a while because this thing's so slow, but the way this pipe is laying here, it is downhill, but there's kind of a little dip here, and I think it's just going to take a bit for the water to collect to the point in that pipe to where it starts coming out in this. And then of course this will have to fill up to the point of those filters before it comes out. So my two outputs, spouts, or whatever you call them here, I've got this one here is going to be my outlet to my tank, and this one over here is going to be an overflow. And I'll probably just put a piece of that flexible pipe, I'm thinking now, on that and run it out here into the woods. There's kind of a ditch sort of over that way anyway, so it'll just run down that if it ever overflows. I don't think it will, just because of how slow this is, but that's what we got now with the spring box installation. And then this hose, I'm running down the hill here, and I'm gonna have to put my tote down here somewhere, right above where the creek area is, so that it's lower elevation than the spring box, so that it gravity feeds on down. Well, I got a spot dug out right here that looks like it's more or less level. That's going to be for the tote, and it's right downhill, if you can see up there, from the spring box, and the spring's up there. So now I'm going to get this tote offloaded from the side by side here and put down into that little hole there. And I tried, there's like a ditch running back here, so I tried to pile up the dirt along this so that the water would continue going out that way and not over this way. Well, we got the tote in place, and I guess it's kind of level, maybe a little bit downhill towards the spout, but that's okay. Now, as far as getting into this thing, I was gonna let it come right into the top here, but I was having trouble finding some fittings for this. This, for some reason, this tote I've got a little bit different than the other ones, and I can't find a fitting that'll screw into the top of that lid. So what I think I'm gonna do instead is actually drill a hole, probably in the top of this. I don't know where exactly, but then probably close enough to this so that I can reach in there and put a fitting from the inside that I can screw down too tight. So that is the plan for the time being. And I also got to get a hose cut that goes from there down to that spot. So I got to looking at my outlet for my spring box and where the top of my IBC tote is, and I'm just not convinced that it is actually downhill enough to gravity feed. So I think I'm gonna have to make an adjustment here to where my spring box is. So it was right there, you know, this hose coming down, and I moved it over there, but I think I just need to shorten this pipe and put it uphill a little bit further here, just to get a little bit more height on this, because I think I'll still be downhill from the outlet there if I come up a little further. All right, I got my hole drilled in there, which pained me to do, but I think it's gonna be okay. And then I'm gonna stick this up. I'm gonna reach in through there, stick this up, and then screw that down on top of it. All right, I got pushed up through there and got my little collar on there to hold it in place, although it holds in pretty well itself. And now I'm just gonna screw this dude down on there. And I did put some Teflon tape. Yeah, it's spinning the whole thing now, but that should be good enough. And then I'll get my pipe pushed on there. Now I gotta cut a pipe to run up to the spring box. All right, we should have everything hooked up. So we're coming out the spring into the spring box, which, by the way, already has a little water in it. Coming out of the spring box. Going down here through all these weeds. And into the tote. And just so we're all clear, to me, this is pretty questionable whether or not this is going to work. So I'm trying to get a little trickle of water from way up there to come through all this mess into here. And we're just gonna have to wait and see. As I said, I think earlier, you know, we're getting ready to go out of town here for a little bit, so I'm just gonna let this thing go, and we'll see how much water's in here when we get back. So that is all for this video. Thanks for watching.